All right, all right. So, welcome back to the I Think I Love My, or I guess welcome back to the I Think I Love My Kids podcast. This is actually my very first interview, and I have another Miss Latoya here.
It's like the Latoya show right
yes,
now.
yes. I chose you to interview first because your name's Latoya, one. And two, because a lot of times people think that because someone has something in common with them, that there needs to be competition. And I just wanted, hey, ain't no competition here because I love my girl. So I do know you as the real estate queen here in Augusta. Yes,
ma'am.
But other than that, I just know you're a single mom. And so tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so I actually have two daughters. 17 will be 18 this year, and then 11. So they definitely put me through it sometimes. So I love seeing the memes and everything on the page. And then I am a real estate agent in the area as well. I absolutely love talking to the camera. So I don't know if I should look at you or look at the camera.
You can look at the camera, that's fine.
But I'm just enjoying life right now. I'm excited to meet with you. We met the one time we were talking about at the photo shoot.
At the photo shoot.
So just having fun.
All right. So how do you let's reel it back a little bit. What made you get started in the real estate business?
Yes. So I actually kind of fell in love with real estate when I was looking for my own house. It turns out I like to say that I'm not very selective when I'm looking, but when you put something in front of you, I become very selective and I do exactly what I wanted, and it's very difficult to find. So the process was extremely lengthy, and I had a really good agent that I was working with. And I don't know, I was just like, I want to do that. I think I want to do that. It's such a big purchase, whether it's your first home, your second home, your vacation home, or whatever. So I love helping people, and it made sense.
All right. Nice. I know we did say that you're a single mom. How do you balance it all?
You know what? I feel like I get that question a lot, not like in an interview aspect, but just like on a day-to-day basis, because it appears that like, okay, you're so busy. I don't feel like I'm so busy. My kids have a lot of different activities. We're actually dancing maybe 5 or 6 times a week. We're at the dance studio.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's competition season. So, it's fun, but I would say, you just take stuff as it comes to you. If you're trying to, not like in a non-organized way, but you just kind of take one thing at a time. This needs to be done, that needs to be done, and then you do it.
Okay, that sounds, because your girl needs help.
Yeah, no, you just gotta do it. I think a lot of times people try to take everything and soak it all in at once. Like you just imagine like a whiteboard, or like you see, the soccer moms on like TV shows. They have their sticky notes and this and this and this. If you do it like that, then it's gonna seem like you're really busy.
Yeah, because that looks overwhelming.
Yeah, it's overwhelming, and you count yourself out before you start. But if you just take a minute and say, okay, like I know that the girls have to be, or, at dance at this time. So I take them there at that time. And you just do one thing at a time, and it's not really that busy. Yeah. Life isn't really that busy.
That's good. I'm glad you're balancing it all. So we can definitely learn a lot from you. So I know a lot of times us as single moms, we come from a single parent household. Did you come from a single parent household? So
my mom and dad actually were divorced when I was about 10 years old. And then I was raised, it was just my mom until I was about 16 when she remarried, somewhere around then. I have 2 older sisters, but they were both like in the military and gone. So I was kind of just me and my mom for a while.
So you're only child.
Yeah, it's like,
Must be nice.
so this is my thing. I always say, like, don't put me in a box because I'm everything, because I've been an only child, but I have siblings.
Right.
You know, like, I'm from the hood, but I was also brought up to be raised proper
Right.
as a military brat. Like, I'm a mixture of it all. So don't put me in a box.
Understandable. Yes.
Yeah.
Because we breaking out all the boxes.
Right.
So how going from one life, going from having a single mom, what things did you learn from your mother, or did you take away from your mother that you use towards raising your children?
Everything, both on purpose and not on purpose. I think I made actually a Facebook post about it the other day about how I didn't go to my junior prom because it was raining outside, and I had just got my license, and I wasn't going with a date. And my mom was like, you're not driving the car in the rain. And I was like, well, I don't want my mom to drop me off at the prom. And here I got my full hot pink prom dress on, my hair is all crimped and curled and makeup on, and I didn't go because I didn't want my mom to drop me off. And so now with a 17-year-old, it's like the same thing over again, to where it's raining outside and I'm like, no, you can't go. It's dark, it's traffic, those things that unintentionally we do. But just in general, I saw my mom do everything around the house that needed to get done. My mom made sure that I was always ready for school, prepared for school. I had everything that I needed. And so I saw by watching her, and then I saw, like, subconsciously by what she did, how she treated me. So, I mean, even with my mom, when it was just me and her, I never felt like it was just me and her. And I try to do that to my kids too. Of course, I can't replace their father or anything. All I can do is just give them the best when I'm there. And my whole goal has been to just give them a life where they don't feel like they're missing anything.
Yeah.
So.
That's definitely understandable, because I've gone through the single parent lifestyle to now where I'm trying to accommodate to
someone else,
to someone else, and having to adjust with shared parenthood. So it's
hard.
difficult.
I don't know if I would be. I don't know.
Well, let me tell you, that strong, independent Black woman shell is very hard to shake.
It is, and that's unintentional too. It's like almost like, I don't try to be this way. It's like a default thing, This is just what it is.
Right. So, because I'm leaning more towards femininity and stuff like that. So for me, I like to think of myself as not strong but resilient, and instead of independent, I'm interdependent. So because there's a saying, a woman that doesn't ask for help can do it all. And guess what? If you don't ask for help, of course everybody's gonna expect for you to do it all because they see you doing it all. So I see you as resilient and interdependent.
Thank you.
I admire you a lot. I do. That's why you're here. But it's always nice to learn, because you have a child that's older than mine, and I'm going into this, into the teenage phase with her. So what advice do you have for me, or maybe for other mothers out there that are starting to go through that teenager phase? Because my daughter's 14, and
that's really like a whole nother conversation. Because every child is different, and I just happen to have a child that is, you use the word resilient. Like my daughter, she was raised by me, so she's kind of subconsciously, she has my behavior, my personality, my attributes and everything. And I can imagine that I was a difficult teenager. So she I love my daughter. She's definitely going to be fantastic, as an adult, as a 17-year-old, though I'm like, girl. But I would say, even during the times where like motherhood isn't pretty, and during those times where maybe you're embarrassed by some of the choices that your child makes, I would say you need to, be open and honest about it, because a lot of times parents try to hide all of those things, and then those that are going through it, they feel like they're the only one and they don't have anyone to relate to them. My daughter has made some dumb decisions that
I'm not the only one.
No, girl, listen, but the thing about it is, one of the things that helped me is that I know that I've taught her right from wrong. I know she knows right from wrong. I know that she has to live her life the same way that I've lived my life. And I know that regardless of what she does, it's not going to take away any ounce of love that I have for her. You know what I mean? Regardless. So I would just say, it's tough. Talk to your friends, but talk to your friends that are going to be open and honest with you. If you have that friend that's not gonna do that, then you're gonna feel like you're alone. And if you have a teenage girl that is going through some tough times or making decisions that you would not be proud of, reach out to me, because I could tell you something. I could tell you some things, and I can be open and honest about it. And it's difficult, but as long as you continue to try to, even when they don't want to talk to you, just keep trying to talk to them and keep, reiterating, I love you, I'm always going to love you, and try not to go crazy when they tell you something that you don't want to hear. Like my daughter, a lot of times she's told me stuff that maybe she'll share with her friends and that like I really wouldn't want to know, and I have to catch myself and be calm, because I want her to keep coming to me and telling me. So even when I want to be like, what? I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's difficult, but it's possible even when it's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
And it's been tough.
Because
around middle school and still now, I have a very rebellious child.
Really? Have you noticed? Because something I noticed is like the grade, like once they start middle school, it's like the grades dip.
Yes.
Okay, so that's normal.
Oh, absolutely. So my daughter in elementary school, she was a straight A student. She was always able to just like go to class and she can get an A just showing up. And in middle school, like she started bringing home grades, I'm like, what is this? And I could actually, when you do this, you're about to tell something, right? I could actually be honest and say, even in high school, like recently, one of my daughter's progress reports was like a 17. Like that is somebody that's not even doing anything, not even turning in work. I'm sharing all her little business here.
Look, mine did the same thing, and I was like, this can't be my little genius.
Right, like what is going on here? But this is the thing. With my daughter, finding something that they enjoy doing, because she's also on the cheerleading squad. And you can't have a 17 on the cheerleading squad. So when that progress report came out and she found out, it's a possibility of you not cheering, that grade came up so fast. I'm like, was you just not did you have the work and you weren't turning it in? Like, so find something that they enjoy doing. I think even my mom told her, like, get straight A's and I'll do this or whatever. Like they can do the work. It's just a matter of them having something to encourage them to do it.
Yeah. I also think too, there's a lot of us holding them accountable. We lax on it because we're like, oh, they're in middle school now, so they're capable of doing their work. But I think I feel like those were the times that I should have buckled down. And
they have a lot of new responsibility in middle school too. So it's different to where, even 4th, 5th grade, you're changing classes, but you're changing with your class. And then you get into middle school and you're like, wait, you want me to walk to my next class by myself? Like, wait, I got a locker, I gotta figure out how to open this, and all of these new things that they have going on. And then, of course, hormones and everything, and other kids and what they're going through, and you want to be accepted, and you have all of these things in middle school where it's a tough year, or years, middle school.
It is.
And then I remember talking to an older woman before, and I think she said, oh, how old is your daughter? At the time, she'd be like 13 or something. And she was like, you're not going to like her for a couple years. And I was like, what? She was like, you probably will like her again about 23. I was like, wait a minute.
You know what? She's not lying.
Right, exactly. Then you figure out, like, and my sister pointed it out. I was doing something with my daughter. My daughter comes in, she's like, your whole demeanor just changed. like all she said was this, and you got mad. Like, But you always love your kids, but
Yeah.
man, it's those ages with girls from middle school into teenage years, they're tough. They're learning who they are, you know.
Yeah.
So
That's so true. Because I'm seeing also now, like I'm seeing my daughter and I'm seeing her like how she acts like me, and I'm just like, oh man, my mom had to deal with this, and I wasn't even a bad kid, and she's not a bad kid, but it's just like I know me,
right? Like the attitude and stuff. You're like, who are you talking to?
You can't, like, I couldn't have raised this child. Couldn't have. It's not the same kid.
Right.
Oh, man. So, let's see.
I like what you're doing. I love the concept because just like the conversation that we were having, of course I love my kids. You know, I think I love my daughter.
I do.
You know, so just that concept and being open and honest about it. I think that it's really good, you know, for both men and women, for moms and dads, to see that, like, you know, they're people and they have their own personality, they have their own thought process, you know. And sometimes it is going to annoy you and get on your nerves and everything, but, you know, we love our kids, so it's cool.
Yeah, that is.
You're so silly.
I am, because I had a question at the top of my head and I literally just lost
I'm
it.
so sorry. It's probably my fault. I'm
No,
sorry.
you're fine, because I was thinking about, like, okay, so, like, the whole point of the podcast is to basically help people stop generational trauma and to heal from it, because I've noticed, like, a lot of the issue is that it's single moms. We're single moms. We're trying to do it all, be everything, superwoman on top of it, and the culture isn't changing.
Right.
I don't know if you know this, but it ain't getting no better. Like, so in order for us to do that, I think figuring out what the issue is, nip it in the bud, like you said, understanding that they're human beings, they're people, and it's just like so much that we can do better. And bringing it back to the single mom things, a lot of these single moms are young, and these young ladies are complaining they don't have a village. And 9 times out of 10, if they're being raised by single moms, or they were raised by single moms, and their mom didn't have a village or led with what she knows, and sometimes what we know isn't enough. And it's not to point blame, it's not to point fingers at anybody, because at the end of the day, we want to heal. We want to stop violence within our communities. We want to stop the school to prison pipeline. I'm just gonna put it out there, like, I want to stop the school to prison pipeline. I don't think a lot of you guys know it. At 3rd grade, they start testing our children, and their reading scores determine how many prisons are built.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. There's actually a book on it, and I had a principal tell us this when my daughter was in 3rd grade. And it's sad. They're literally like, we gotta stop it. And we can't point the blame at anybody. We just gotta come together as a community, pinpoint the issues, say, hey, this is what the issue is. We're laying it out on the table. What can we do to attack this area, so that we can heal and we can move forward?
And you're definitely at the beginning of that, just, you know, saying, like, we're here to help. So I absolutely love that. I did not know about that in the 3rd grade, but I do know how difficult it is to raise children while you're trying to work and, you know, make sure they have a roof over their head and food to eat and everything. But you can't forget about the actual raising and the guidance that they need. So I think kind of putting a light on it and showcasing that, hey, we're all experiencing this. This is something that's not just attacking your household, it's attacking our community, and you're here to do something about it. And I love it.
Yes.
I love it.
And just because I have a mom on here don't mean I'm not going to have dads on here too. I just want y'all to know this. Because we got to hear from them too, because there are dads out there doing for the community. And they should be highlighted as well. What are some of your favorite community resources that are out there that people can utilize if they do need help with community? Because I'm still, like I said, I'm still fairly new to Augusta, so I don't know everything, but I'm trying to learn and heal, because this is where we've decided to put down roots. So,
yes. So I've actually been here about 8 years now in the area. And what's so crazy is when you're asking the question, I'm thinking, I don't know a lot of community resources, so it's really good what you're doing, because not only does it ask the question, what resources are there where people can share and more people can find out about, but it can also kind of shine the light on maybe there needs to be more, maybe there needs to be some more advertisement for them. I think you shared, and I've actually met with her, the Precious Pearls before, and organizations like that on social media and things. But as far as in the community, something that has been around for years and things like that, I don't know. But I want to find out now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
See, that might be a great place for you to start if you're not in the Augusta area. Maybe you can look towards what resources that you have in the community that you can start to be the difference, or to be the change that you want to see in the community. I think our community can and will benefit from a lot of these programs, and I can't wait to get out there and actually meet some of these community leaders, and get them interviews so that they can actually also bring you guys value and information.
Absolutely.
Isn't it awesome? Because what have you had to use any resources since you've been here?
I have not had to. I haven't, but I will say that one of the things, I don't know if it's a benefit to me, is I'm just very open and honest and talkative as far as when we're thinking about children and the relationships with our kids and things like that. So one of the things that helped me, or that I use as a resource, is I talk to my daughter even when she may not necessarily want to hear it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And then I think I even read somewhere before, and I just use that, I'll always ask the question, how can I help you? What do I need to do? And sometimes the tough answer that we don't want to hear is, you can leave me alone.
Yep.
And my daughter is really big on that now, and it used to offend me, because I'm you're not about to tell me to leave you alone. And I just thought about this. I actually have probably 10 years ago a video of us reenacting something where she had asked me to leave her alone, and we did it as a joke. But even now, at her age now, sometimes she's just Mom, I want to be left alone. Not in a rude way or anything, but she has her emotions and she's going through things, and sometimes she just want to be left alone. So I haven't used any resources, but I do want to know where they are, when and if I would ever need them. But I do think that I have the benefit of just being the type of person that just listens to, even when it's tough. And like I said, me and my daughter, two peas in a pod, with the same personality. Speaking of the teenager, and I want her to have her personality, and I want her to be able to, speak up for herself and things like that. But under my roof, though.
Right. It's I want you to be vocal and know your worth, but not under my roof. Right. But we gotta get out of that too, because like I said, we gotta see them as a person, but we also, I think, gotta understand too that their young minds are developing, and I feel like with my daughter, I don't think I talk to her enough. I think.
You know what you should do? You know what we should do? I'm trying to see if I could. See, you talked about being busy and stuff. I'm like, can I help you? No, but you know what would be really cool? Like a parent swap, like maybe just for a couple hours at an event, you know, your daughter goes, because sometimes your daughters, like our kids don't want to talk to us, you know, maybe they want to talk.
They need an auntie.
Right, they need that auntie they can talk to, you know, like you think of like speed dating, but longer than speed dating, but kind of go around and like talk to somebody else's mom for a minute, you know, tell them what's on your mind, what you have questions about, what you may don't want to talk to your mom or dad about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, somebody you could feel comfortable opening up to. Sometimes we don't feel comfortable opening up to our parents.
Exactly.
Heck,
That would be
I don't feel open up to my mom now. I seen something the other day where the mom was like, "Yeah, my daughter tells me everything," and I'm just like, "Yeah, except for what she doesn't tell you."
Right, exactly. She tell you what she wants you to know.
Because I was there. But I want us to kind of get out of the habit of just assuming that we know everything that our child is going through, or assuming that that they're untrustworthy. I think a lot of times we think about what other kids are doing or what we did at their age. Because I'm gonna be honest with you. This happened yesterday, actually. Got a phone call from the school and it said that my kid missed one or more classes. And she's like, "I was in all my classes, I promise. Did not believe her at all. Didn't believe her. I did not believe her. I ended up calling the teacher because I was like, well, I'm gonna get to the bottom of this.
Right.
And it finds out in his book, he wrote someone else absent and her there, but when he went to put it in the computer, he made her absent, so it triggered the phone call.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, I didn't believe her until the truth came out, but I also wanted her to learn from this lesson, like, you know, mom will find out the truth.
Right. But then you also have to have, you know, follow up with that conversation with her too, to let her know, like, okay, even if it's like a this time thing, like, my bad, you know, because we have to admit when we're human and when we were wrong too, and she'll respect that. But yeah, I've had those phone calls. And they didn't turn out the way that
look, the first one didn't either.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, because it's being a mom to a girl. It's tough. Especially knowing that I had friends that got pregnant at young ages. But I don't want to go on the extreme and be like T.I. either, you know, or because that's a violation of her privacy, and that can cause generational trauma.
Right.
Don't you agree?
Or it can make you, or like the child then kind of lashes out on purpose, you know, like, so absolutely. And that's something that I like, you know, I get big-eyed about, because I was pregnant at 17 and had my daughter at 18. So now that she's 17, every like, I'm like, let's make it. Right. You know, so it's tough, but we definitely, like you said, it's breaking, you know, generational curses, and, you know, have a goal, like what college you want to go to, what you're going to do, what you're going to do, you know.
How do you handle that when your child's like, I don't know, or I don't want to?
I mean, those are conversations. Like, that's not the end of the conversation when they say I don't want to, you know, even if it's not right there in that one sitting. Like, okay, we'll talk about this again tomorrow. Okay, we'll talk about it next week. You got to start thinking of something, you know, even if you say, of course, you know, we want our children to go to college, but even if you say it's not college, okay, then what is the plan? You know, because sometimes it's just words. Like my daughter right now, if you ask her, she wants to be a pediatric nurse, and then, you know, you have a 17 on your progress report. Like, that doesn't equal up. Now, again, before it got to the report card, it was an A, like, but, you know, so it's just, it's constant and it's consistency. That's what, like, everything in life seems to be like, you have to be consistent about it. That's the same thing with parenthood. You can't be like a really, you know, great parent that's listening and having communication one week and then next week you really don't care. Like, you have to keep that same consistency with
or grabbing a belt.
Right. Or sometimes you don't have time to grab a belt. No, but what is that that's trending now? Gentle parenting.
The gentle parenting. It's a work in progress, y'all. It's a work in progress. And it's crazy because a lot of people don't agree with the gentle parenting, and they'll use, like I posted about it, they'll use the Bible to justify it, and it's like, well, the shepherd, in real life, a shepherd doesn't use the staff or the rod to beat the sheep. So where are you getting beat them from?
It you know what though? I mean, it's just it's balance. It's balance. You kind of gotta like read the room, read the child, because even my daughters, like they are alike in a lot of ways, but they're different in a lot of ways too. Like, you know,
each of them are different.
Like you gotta kind of read the room, read the child, and see what's gonna work with you and what's not gonna work with you.
Yeah, I think that's what it comes down to a lot, honestly, is knowing your child when it does come to discipline, because some kids, like, they're not going to respond to the whipping. I'm not even gonna lie to you. They're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get a whipping, and then I'm gonna go do it again.
Do it again, because it ain't even hurt that bad.
Because it didn't stop my mother. It didn't. But I want us to not use it as the first line of defense for discipline. Just for the simple fact that, like I said, they're human beings. How do we go out in the world and interact with other people when they're not doing, or they're not demonstrating the behavior that we want them to have? Are we just gonna give them a whooping? Like, you gonna beat the other person? But guess what? That's what a lot of us do, and that's why we're in jail.
Because when I did something my mom didn't like, she hit me, and that little girl in class just did something I didn't like, so I'm gonna hit her, because, you know, that's what we do in my house, you know. So you have to watch that, because they soak it all in too. Because
how you treat your children is how they treat others, how they treat the world, how they let other people treat them. Like, how you treat your children sets the standard for how they let other people treat them. Big realization that I had to come to. Also, how we treat ourselves, because if we're not taking time to take care of ourselves, we're not going to give them the love that they need, the love that they deserve, and getting to know them. So that we can parent them to the best of our ability, because we know who they are as a person.
And we move so fast in life, and we're all busy and doing so many things. Like, when is the last time you sat down? Like, do people sit down and eat dinner together anymore? You know, when was the last time you spent some time with your kids and had a conversation with your kids? Because I know my kids will, like, literally come home, and sometimes they'll just go in their rooms and, you know, I'll see them in the morning, you know, and you have to stop that. And hey, everybody come out here, let's talk. And this is a true story, and this is me being like authentic again. Just the other day, it was a tough morning. It was Thursday. My daughter was like being late for school. You know, she's driving to school. I'm like, you're not going to keep driving to school if you're going to be late. Like, you have to hurry up and get ready. Tori couldn't find a shirt she wanted to wear, and I'm like, you got to wear another shirt. Like, it was a very tough morning, and I'm like, you know, running around the house and everything like that, and I'm like, see, this is why, you know. And when they got home that day, true story. I called them both in the living room, and I had to tell them, listen, you know, this morning it was tough. And, you know, y'all know I love you and I appreciate you and everything like that. This is what I need from you. Like, what do you need from me? Things like that.
Yeah.
Like, this was Thursday. Like 2 days ago.
Hey, look, sometimes we gotta have them cut of Jesus moments because
man, I felt bad. I sent them both to school. Like at one point, I just went in my room, closed the door. I didn't care if either one of them got to school. Like I'm not doing this morning, you know. But you do. Just as soon as you get the moment, you gotta kind of reel it back in and remember that they're paying attention, and sometimes they're holding on to things that you don't even know about, you know, so you have to watch what you're saying to them, and if you realize you said something that was out of pocket, you know, bring it up, and at least if they remember that, then they remember your apology too, or your justification, or whatever the case may be. They're not just remembering what you said, but the solution to it too.
That's good, because we definitely want to set them up for success. And I feel like a lot of times our youth aren't set up for success. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that the video cut off. It was good. She dropped some gems, didn't she? Definitely gonna have to get her back. Until then, you can always reach out to us for more content, for more amazing content. You can follow us. If you're following us on YouTube, make sure you subscribe so you can get notifications. You can also follow me on Instagram at I Think I Love My Kids. There's an underscore in between each of those words. I am also on Facebook at I Think I Love My Kids podcast. And if you want to get yourself featured on the podcast, definitely reach out to me. See, Empower Sis Movement is my group on Facebook where we empower women that look just like me and you, who are doing our thing in business. You can find us on Facebook there and reach out as well.